Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. It is Thursday afternoon, 3 o'clock on the East Coast, and today's webinar is with our digital partner, Coalmarch. Of course, I am Greg, one of the account managers here at Real Green, joined again back this week after his week off. Carl, how are you doing today, Carl?
I am doing great. Can't wait to learn a little bit more about Coalmarch. So I'm excited about this webinar today, and I'm sure as everybody else on board is interested to see what Mark has to say today.
Yeah, it's the internet age is upon us. I can remember, I'm thinking 2008. Probably when I went and met with somebody and they thought it was still a fad. Didn't think the internet was a real thing that was going to stick around. So
That's never going to take off.
Yeah, it's never going to take off. So we did tell Mark just we're going to skip how important the internet is and that it does exist today. So,
right. I think that's definitely without saying.
Go-to webinar. I think everyone knows what the internet is at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Perfect. Mark, welcome today. Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about what Coalmarch can do for our customers to get internet leads.
For sure. So everyone should be able to see my screen here. It just says digital marketing. So obviously the broad topic of the day. You can see it, right?
Yep, you're good.
Yep.
So yeah, a little bit about me. I mean, obviously you're going to be listening to me for 30 minutes. So who the heck is this Mark guy? So just a few broad facts. So I'm originally from the Philadelphia area. I'm now located down here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where Coalmarch is based out of. Been with Coalmarch for about 3.5 years now, very much a part of the sales teams, the client success team here, and really spend my days, talking with lawn care owners and pest control owners and strategizing and, what you need to be doing for digital marketing, as well as some sales efficiency solutions that we offer. But at the end of the day, what you need to be doing to grow your business and take things to the next level. So now that we know a little bit about me, for those of you that may not be familiar with Coalmarch, or maybe you're not a client of ours in some way, shape, or form already, Coalmarch is very much a provider of digital marketing and sales efficiency solutions specific to the lawn care and pest control industry. So we're really just all about, again, helping you grow your business on the marketing side, on the sales and software side of things as well. And have been so for about a decade now. So kind of wanted to jump into it a little bit right away. I mean, with us being all about growing your business, obviously a lot of lawn care operators, team, management on this webinar today. So I kind of wanted to jump in. We're talking about business growth and what we can be doing. So taking a look at last year, what we saw across the board for our lawn care. And we probably have about 30 or so companies that we do the website and marketing for that are lawn care specific. So these are the averages pulled together from them. So overall average spend, we saw about $75,000. Now this is the overall marketing spend. So whether it's paid advertising, what they're paying for the website, SEO updates, things like that, that overall spend. As well as a $45 cost per lead, again, both for organic leads as well as paid leads. We saw about an average of $45. So what really matters is how that's going to, again, grow your business. How is that going to affect my bottom line? So we saw about an average of about 22% growth for our lawn care clients year over year from 2019 to 2020. And then kind of taking it one step further, so we worked with some pest control companies, of course, as well. So our overall client base, some of the cost per leads on average that we saw when we're talking specifically about the digital platform. We'll go into a little bit more about these different channels and kind of bounce out of the presentation here and walk around a lot of these different avenues. But again, so some of these cost per leads, about overall $45 cost per lead here with all of these different channels. And then we take into consideration some of these paid ad channels, which we'll break down here in a bit, as well as the $25 cost per lead for organic. So these these leads generated from what we call the non-paid advertising, which really the website leads coming through organically in the digital platform. So kind of going forward then, what we'll really be covering today at a high level. Obviously, I'm going to go too much into detail, being a little bit shorter webinar here, but we'll run through, what is digital marketing? Why is it important? How does it benefit you as, a home service owner and generating customers on that side of the ball, as well as being able to cater to the customer journey, walking through what that process looks like, especially in regards to marketing, from the point where someone first hears about your business until they become a new customer, and having a strategy for, that journey and what your customers are seeing. And then as well as using it to your advantage. If you're doing these things, great. If you're not, what should you be doing? How can you be doing it better? So using all of that in the digital marketing sense, as well as keeping an eye on the customer journey and how your business strategizes for that, how you can be using that to your advantage. And kind of before we jump in here, definitely want to mention that, Greg and Carl are going to be manning some of the questions, so definitely feel free at any point. You should be able to put some questions there in the chat. If we can't get to them during the actual webinar here, we'll be answers, post the webinar as well. So kind of going into, at a high level, what is digital marketing? We kick things off of the internet's not a fad. I think we're all well aware now of what the internet is. Similar to that, I think we're all pretty well aware of what digital marketing is. But obviously, there's always these, more and more marketing channels that continue to pop up, whether digital, offline. So kind of taking a step back, what is digital marketing? So really all of these different channels that utilize the internet to be able to market on. So whether that's content marketing, SEO, having your website, running these paid advertising campaigns on Google, managing Facebook, Instagram, all these social media channels that you can utilize for marketing as well. So again, all of these different marketing channels that are using the internet to get your name, your business out there in front of your prospective customers.
It's a really neat too, Mark, how much that changes, or every 2, 3, 4 more years, you start adding, Instagram, you've got the search engines, you've got Facebook, you've got all these different ones. They just continue to add and more new ways of doing digital marketing.
Yeah. I mean, especially, bringing up Google here, when you think digital, obviously this is such a huge platform. When everyone sees brown spots in their yard or, ants in their kitchen, they run to their phone and like, how do I get rid of this? Take care of this for me. But yeah, even just on Google alone, there's so many different avenues and it's always changing. It's something that you really got to keep up with. Have a company or someone in-house that keeps up with it for you on a daily basis, because there's always these new avenues popping up and these new, algorithms that Google rolls out that you got to stay in line with in order to continue to, rank well and your company's good name up there online. So, we really still say that, again, internet's not a fad. Google's not a fad. It's been the #1 search engine for a long time now, and it's still king. I mean, it's still where your customers are going when they see an issue that you can take care of. Again, whether that be weeds in my yard or a brown spot, ants in my kitchen, or maybe I'm done with taking care of my lawn. I want to get someone to come out here and do it for me. They're running on their phones, going on their laptops, and searching for the best companies near them that can provide that service and take care of that issue. So Google is still king in that regard and dominating 90% of the search engine market. So still very much Google being the one that everyone goes to when they're searching for these things online. And this graph here kind of breaks down, as far as paid advertising, where Coalmarch specifically sees our clients spending, where we're spending our clients' budget, where, we're really generating the most leads. the pay-per-click advertising on Google is still, by far and away where we're seeing most of the leads generated, especially when you can get so targeted in the areas and the types of service that you're looking to target on there. So kind of going into that, and we'll pop off here and take a little bit of a look at some of those different ad avenues on Google, as well as these other channels where you should be putting your marketing efforts into showing up. So really going back to the customer journey again, where your customer, it's so important to take a look at this funnel that we lay out here. It's pretty easy at a glance to say, hey, okay, at a high level, I get this. It makes sense, pretty straightforward. But time and time again, I mean, we're talking to people, and 9 times out of 10, I ask someone, hey, do you have a strategy for each part of this funnel that you see here? So from getting your name out there, whether that's sending out direct mailers or blasting out an email campaign, with the brand awareness, getting your name out there, getting people knowing that, hey, we're here, we're providing this service, we service in your area, making them known, who you are, what you do, and that you can take care of their issues, their lawn, should that need arise. And then the event really needs to take place. So there has to be that demand, of course, for lawn care and your services in that area. And then one that we'll really focus on, especially when you're talking about marketing, the two that we'll focus on in the coming slides is attraction and action. How are we going to get, how you're going to get found, and then how when someone comes to your website or they get a piece of direct mail or they get an email, what is going to make them take the next step? What is going to make them act and then reach out and become a new customer? So it's very important to have a strategy in place for each part of this, because if someone they see your company, they know that you provide that service, they have weeds in their lawn, they go to Google, they find your company, that you handle that service, but they get to your website and it's outdated, it's clunky, it's hard to find out the information they're looking for. Well, then they drop off at action and they're not going to reach out. So it's kind of, if any one of these parts of this funnel, they can drop off at any point. So kind of going back to, again, really the two main ones that we're going to take a look at here is attraction and action. So getting found, and once found, what is going to make people reach out once they find you. So a big part of that is, again, going back to Google, what we call the search engine results page. So when someone goes and they have brown spots in their yard, they got weeds in their yard, they go and they're going to look for lawn care near me, best lawn care near me, and all these different things pop up, all these different channels. So it's very important to kind of to break this down and make sure that of course, along with your budget, that you're doing what you can to be coming up on this page at least once, but the more the better, right? So we always refer to that as SERP repetition. The more real estate on this page that your company has, I mean, just by the sheer volume of times that you're coming up, more likely you are to get clicked on. So kind of breaking it down, high level at the top here, these are called Google Local Services ads. You might hear them referred to as Google Guaranteed. A little bit, not new, but a little bit newer still to the lawn care industry. Definitely over the past year and a half or two, they've become very relevant in most metropolitan cities. So it's one of those things where, if you look at these traditional pay-per-click ads coming up here, which I'm sure most of us are pretty familiar with those ads, this is really just a new ad channel for Google. So the important thing to know there is that they come up above the traditional pay-per-click ads. So I didn't even scroll anywhere down the screen yet, and all I'm seeing is ads. So it's kind of driving home that if you're not doing paid advertising, you need to be. If you're not doing it, your competitors are doing it. So, very important to be able to come up in these paid advertising spots. And the important thing to note with Google Guaranteed, I mean, you click on one of these boxes up there, it doesn't go directly to the website. So it's a very quick view of your business, your services. Do you service their area? As well as the reviews that you're generating. People pay attention to more and more nowadays. And we'll get to that in a second as well, as far as some interesting stats about reviews and why you need to be generating them and doing it on a consistent basis as well. So kind of scrolling down, again, you have your Google Local Services ads up top. So that's one marketing channel that you need to be taking a look at if you're not already utilizing it. Again, coming up at the top of the screen there. If you're not, your competitors are. And then you have your traditional pay-per-click ads. And then scrolling down to the local pack map here. So of course, a lot of this is based off your physical location to be coming up there when people are searching for a service that's relevant to your business. However, kind of going, to be able to help yourself show up there, making sure that your local listings are in good order. So your Google My Business, your Facebook page, your Better Business Bureau, all these different local listings where your company name will be showing up, making sure that they have the same company name, the same accurate address, phone number, making sure that all that stuff is filled in where applicable and that it's consistent across the board there can definitely help with that as well. And then scrolling down towards the bottom here, you have your organic rankings. So while a lot of people think that, hey, a website might be phasing out, we still see that, a lot of these organic rankings, if you go back to this slide here, this is kind of a general breakdown in 2020 of the amount of, clicks that each of these different avenues on Google are getting. So at the top there, Google Local Services, I think a lot of people would think, most of the traffic has to be coming up there because it's showing up first. But, we still see, if you look at the bottom here, about 45% of that is coming through, still coming through organic. So it's still very important to be investing in your search engine optimization, with the website to be able to rank organically there as well. But a lot of that, obviously, all of these are getting 10% or more of the clicks. So the more of these different spots you can be showing up on this page, the more likely you are to get someone to click on you. And again, if you're not showing up in any of these spots, or you're only showing up once, your competitors are showing up multiple times. So it becomes even more so important then. So in addition to that, you'll look at a lot of, I always like to explain it to people. A lot of you in the lawn care industry, of course, have just recently sent out a lot of mailers, or maybe you're blasting out email campaigns and things like that. And obviously that's a great way to get your name out there, get a promotion out there at the beginning of the season. So if you have someone like Real Green that creates that print design, you send out these mailers, it looks great, you have an enticing promotion. As a consumer, the first thing I'm going to do when I get that mailer is I'm going to go online, I'm going to look at your website, see if the company matches what I'm seeing on the mailer, and that type of thing. So it's also very important to, with all of these marketing channels, whether it's online or offline, to have that unified branding. Make sure that your offline presence and messaging matches your online presence and messaging. Again, if someone gets that mailer and they go to your website or they see your Google My Business profile, which is pictured here, and it's, the website's outdated, clunky, doesn't showcase who you are as a company like your mailer does, or your Google My Business profile has poor reviews or no reviews, it just decreases your credibility with that customer, makes them much less likely to reach out to you. Kind of listed a few stats here that are really interesting. So here at Coalmarch, we utilize a tool called Bright Local, which is how we manage the local listings for our clients. And they do a survey at the end of each year, really seeing how people are interacting, what's causing people to reach out, how they're interacting with these different local listings. So some of them that stood out are, first off, customers are most likely to look at your Google My Business profile for business reviews. So obviously Facebook's another important one. If you should have a Facebook profile for your business and make sure that you have your reviews on there. And then another is, So another way of putting the second one is more than half of consumers are not going to reach out to you unless you have more than 4-star reviews. So if you have, less than 4-star reviews on your Google My Business, 52% of those consumers are not even going to consider reaching out to you. So extremely important to have, not only have those reviews, but have it so it's at least above 4 stars. And then the other one here, 73% of consumers only pay attention to reviews written in the last month. So also stresses the fact that not only do you need reviews, not only should they be above 4 stars, but you need to be getting them consistently. If someone's looking and the last review that you have on there is from a year ago, it doesn't really mean much to them. And they're going to go back off and probably on to the next company. Very much diminishes them, considering reaching out to you to provide that service. So Greg and Carl, any questions, maybe that have come in or anything about that portion there? Definitely want to make sure it's.
We don't have any questions coming in, but I've got one for you. What's your favorite channel for out of all those different marketing ways? What's your favorite channel of doing?
So my favorite is still investing in the website and the SEO. It's very much the long game, but the whole goal there is to, if you're investing in paid advertising, give or take, you're going to be generating these leads for the same amount of money year over year. Now, the goal with investing in your SEO and your website is that you're going to be ranking, if you're with a company or have someone that's doing it properly for you. It does take some time depending on how well you're ranking currently, but year over year, you should be ranking better and be getting more and more, cost-effective leads, lower cost per lead organically. So it's a very, when you're talking about wanting to grow and scale your business, it's a much more predictable method and much more cost-effective way of being able to do that. So while that I say, definitely important to be investing in your SEO, your website, your organic traction. Obviously, the paid advertising plays a big role in that too, and being able to supplement, supplement these leads. Even our clients that do rank very well, and the large majority of their leads are coming through organically through the website. Still, of course, utilizing paid advertising. It's always a way to continue to get leads and continue growing. So can help supplement maybe some months where you're a little short on hitting your lead goal or your lead goal for that year. The paid advertising can very much make up for that. So also an important avenue. So as far as getting found, like I said, kind of really diving into attraction and action being the two portions to kind of focus on, at least for this webinar. Going through Google and these different avenues, making sure that you're getting when people are searching for your services online, getting them to the website, getting found, that's only half the battle. Again, if someone goes to your website and it's outdated, it's hard to tell, do you provide the service I'm looking for? Do you service my area? Are you better than, True Green down the street? I mean, what makes you different? How do I benefit from using your company? You want to make sure that when they do come to the website, it showcases, hey, this is who we are. We provide the service you're looking for. We service the specific area that you're in, and this is why you should choose us over, the lawn care company down the road. So really, no matter where they come in on the website, so whether it's the homepage or one of these more, we call them the hyperlocal city pages, which is where here at Coalmarch we really advise and push. That's where your visitors should be coming into. So for example, this is a client of ours in the Memphis, Tennessee area, Herbie Systems, and you'll see we build out a lot of these hyperlocal pages in that Memphis area. So Bartlett, Tennessee, for example, when someone who's located in Bartlett, which is a little bit outside of Memphis, they're not looking for lawn care in Memphis. They're looking for, lawn care near me, irrigation near me. And Google is seeing on the IP address, they're seeing this is where they're located. They're located in Bartlett, or they're looking for, best pest control, best lawn care in Bartlett, Tennessee. So we want them to be able to, of course, have you come up in those areas, but when they click on your website, they should be coming to a page that's all about lawn care in Bartlett, if that's what they've searched. So having these very specific pages to the specific city and town that they're looking in, as well as having it all about that specific service that they're looking for. And of course, always making sure that on these certain pages, you have these enticing calls to action. Up here, $30 off your first application. Again, always showcasing the value that you're going to provide your customer, because at the end of the day, you have 30 seconds, maybe a minute, for the website to sell them if you don't have something else that has already, previously sold them a bit. And then another thing, really, when we're talking about having a website that is built to convert on day one, part of our proprietary design is what we call the Solutions Finder design, which is this tool right here that is found on the homepage, all of our city pages. So this really helps showcase and recommend your service, your program to the customer based off of their input of what they're looking for. So if they come into the homepage, or they land on this Bartlett, Tennessee page, and they're looking for, a fertilization company, all they have to do is select that, get my solution, and it brings up your service, or if you offered a bundled program, it would showcase which service, which program is the most relevant to what they input, and really sell them on it. Up top here, what are some of the benefits and features of this program? Again, why should I choose Herbie Systems for this service? Well, free on-site inspections, satisfaction guarantee. If you offer any kind of same-day service, or there's free initial inspections are always big as well. So really anything that you offer, your unique value proposition that separates you from your competitors, making sure that that's showcased on your website. So really making sure that your website is, again, created with conversion in mind from the very beginning. Because if it doesn't match these awesome direct mailers you're sending out, or your email campaigns, or you have a door-to-door team that's handing out flyers, first thing that person's going to do is hurry up and go look you up online. I know I would. So making sure that the website showcases you as a company and has these enticing things to be able to reach out.
Mark, I think you kind of alluded to it, but now that the consumer's landed on the page, how do you guys do all the tracking part of it?
Sure. So here at Coalmarch, we utilize a partner of ours called Call Tracking Metrics. So we, along with Google Analytics attached to the website, are really able to see. So if someone comes they click on a paid ad campaign, they click on a Facebook campaign, they come into the website, we utilize unique phone numbers for each of these different marketing channels. So utilizing Call Tracking Metrics, that's how we're able to see, okay, what specific marketing channels are people calling in from? And, of course, using Google Analytics on the website, what pages are people going to, and then filling out a web form. So kind of using those two different platforms for tracking purposes, we're able to set up a dashboard. So we specifically set up a live dashboard for all of our marketing clients here, where we're able to use, Call Tracking Metrics, use Google Analytics with those unique phone numbers to be able to pull into, show these different metrics of how much you're spending overall on marketing, as well as broken down by channel. So you can go in and see at any point, how much am I spending, how much have I spent this month to date, so far this year to date on my PPC advertising? How many leads has that generated for me? What is my cost per lead there? So these are all those things that it becomes very important, whether your marketing seems to be working for you or not, or you're hitting your growth goals or not. It's so important to track what you're doing, because if you look at 2020, a lot of folks that I talked to, especially on the residential side, they had a good year, generally speaking. People were home, they wanted a good looking lawn, they wanted to get rid of bugs in and around the house. So, but it's one of those things where if you're not tracking it, how do you repeat it if you had a good year? If you had a poor year, well, what specifically do you need to improve on? So really looking at the data there, how much you're spending broken down by channel and what it's really generating for you broken down. So that's on the marketing side. Again, whatever you're doing, track it. Track it as accurately as you can and keep up with that. You can always improve on the way that you're tracking things as well to make it more accurate. So whether it's spend by channel, number of leads generated, getting your cost per lead there. We have a couple things that we're able to do as well on the sales side of things to be able to, track your team's sales conversion, knowing what your cost per sale is, really being able to show you what your return investment by channel is. And all part of that is something that's coming up in integration with our partners there at Real Green. So coming up here in Q3, if you have not heard about the integration between Real Green, SA5, and Coalmarch, keep an eye out for it. Something that we'll be launching soon. Also, feel free to reach out with any questions about it. More than happy to chat. I know we're kind of running short on time here, but always something to talk about, whether it's digital marketing or the integration. So some of the key takeaways, definitely want to say Google still dominates the landscape. So if you're not doing these, you're not utilizing these different paid advertising channels on Google, you're not investing in SEO and your website, you need to be, because your competitors are. And then the website, making sure that it's conversion focused from day one, because again, that's only half the battle, getting someone to get it there. And whatever you're doing, track it. Track it, track it, track it. So you can improve on it, know what you're doing right, know what you're doing wrong, and how you can get better. And then kind of looking back at the, the data that I gave at the beginning, utilizing a lot of these different channels. I mean, these are big parts of our strategy. The paid advertising, the website, the SEO, local listing management, social media management, very much an all-inclusive program, in what Coalmarch provides for our digital marketing programs. You can get these results, but you have to be investing in the right markets, and we can show you how to do that. So, any questions? Of course, I don't know if you threw any in the chat. More than happy to have anyone reach out with any questions after here. Set up a time to chat. But we really want to help you guys grow. Again, very, very much lawn care, pest control specific. So very much here to help you guys grow your business and take things to the next level. And then,
so it looks like you guys are having a conference in December.
Yeah, so in a couple of the industry resources that Coalmarch provides on top of the digital marketing, sales efficiency, the actual services and products we provide. We also host a conference each year in December here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So coming up December 7th to the 10th this year, and it's very much a 3-day fully immersive event with, it's all geared towards lawn care, pest control owners and management, and how can you grow your business using digital marketing, improving your sales, and improving your customer experience. So really each day based off of one of those topics. So a great thing to keep an eye on. Come this year if you can. We're planning on having it in person. Obviously last year was a little wonky and had to go virtual. So, and another one, if you haven't tuned in or haven't came across, our CEO and owner of Triangle Pest Control and Triangle Lawn Care, Donnie Shelton, as well as Dan Gordon of Turf Books and PCO Bookkeepers, host our podcast, PMP Industry Insiders. So you can look that up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I think that's what it's called. I'm an Android guy, so Apple Podcasts, tune into that as well. Great things from both sides of the ball, lawn care, pest control, a lot of great guest speakers on there, various topics and how to grow your business. So definitely feel free to reach out, with any questions. You can reach me direct or visit our website to learn more.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming on today, Mark, and spending the afternoon with us. Don't have any questions that are rolling in, which means that you covered everything very well.
I think that's what that means.
That's perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great job, Mark. Thanks.
Now 35 minutes flies by faster than you think it would.
Yeah, it
absolutely.
always does. It always does. All right, well, if anybody has any questions, they can reach directly out to Mark, and any of his contact info there, or Carl and I can be reached, account managers at realgreen.com. You can email us and we'll get that passed over to the correct account manager and either pass over questions, comments, concerns to Mark, or we'll reach back out to you. So looking forward to our next webinar, which is going to be on CAW. It's 3 weeks from today, April, or we'll go with May 27th at 3 o'clock again, just before the Memorial Day weekend. So I hope everybody has a great day. And thanks again for coming by and stopping and listening for a little while. Thanks again. Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, everyone. See you in a couple weeks.